Hello everybody, welcome to episode 3 of the Aeolian Podcast. Today we have a very special guest who I always enjoy talking to, Scotland native Janice Mark. I talk about how Janice gave me the inspiration to start this podcast. As always, I appreciate any feedback or criticisms and love hearing ways to improve the show. I first came to Aeolian Hall in October of 2018 when I needed to find a placement for my high school's co-op education program. I knew I wanted to find a place to work in London's entertainment scene, so I found Aeolian Hall at the right place and the right time. This summer I've been lucky enough to be back with the team as a part of the Government of Ontario's Summer Jobs program. I've spent a large part of my life being in London, but I'm from Vancouver originally. I have plenty of family out there still, so a quick shout out to them. I appreciate everyone for listening to this, the third episode of the podcast. Janice began to speak incredibly fluidly right away, so I had to press record right after she started talking, because I couldn't miss sharing it. That will explain the beginning better. Enjoy the show.
Because being an immigrant and having had a good life from coming here, when I retired, I got bored and needed something to do. And Tom C said, well, you're into music, why don't you go volunteer at Aeolian? So I sent an email, blah, 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 about me and what I had done. Clark invited me to come over, and that was how it started. But for me, it was about, I volunteered with a lot of different groups like the MS Society, Crohn's and Colitis, so forth and so on, because I feel it's important to give back to the community.
Yeah.
And basically that's why I volunteered.
So I guess that's a good way to introduce our volunteer, Janice Mark. Thank you for doing that, Janice. How long have you been here? Is it since
10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
So almost the longest tenured volunteer. I mean, there's still some people ahead of you.
Yeah, there are some people ahead of me.
But you've been volunteering here for a long time. And like, whereabouts have you worked before then? I've never asked you, like, all the time I've known you.
For the last 15 years of my working career, I was a condominium property manager.
Right.
So.
Excellent. And I mean, one thing that stuck out right away, and people I'm sure mention all the time in this city, is your beautiful accent. So Janice is originally from Scotland, and what city in Scotland? Because I'm sure some people would know.
It's a town, and it's called Irvine. And it's right about 45 miles southwest of Glasgow, county of Ayrshire.
Yeah. And how did you get here?
I came with my first husband.
Yep.
Who wanted to leave because he was tired of the union nonsense that was going on in Scotland at the time.
Yeah.
And so that was why we came.
Right.
And we came here because he had an aunt and uncle who agreed to sponsor us, and we had to come where our sponsors were.
And so, like, where in town was that?
Where do I live? In the South End.
South End, okay.
Yeah.
And what year how long ago was that?
1973.
73. Wow. So
I've actually lived here longer than I did in Scotland.
That's crazy, yeah. That's interesting. And I heard even, like, I forget who it was that was saying that, like, that accent kind of sticks with you the whole time. I don't think it would ever change,
if you come as an adult, a bunch of my friends, we talked about it at one point, and it was like, we decided that the cutoff was probably about 14, because up until then, you wanted to fit in.
Yeah.
After you get past that 14 or 15 years old, you don't feel like you have anything to prove anymore. So this is me, take it or leave it.
That's true. And I kind of have to mention quickly, you're kind of like the inspiration of the podcast, because I did this because I've had so many great conversations with volunteers, especially in the box office, because I did the co-op here, the high school co-op, and you're always in the box office, or even Wendy, just people like that, people like you, just always great conversations with you guys. So that's kind of that's the whole point of this almost. I guess I have to ask now, because I saw on the volunteer calendar that you're going to Celtic College.
Celtic
what is that?
College.
Celtic College. What's that about?
A football team.
Yeah, I sound very North American saying that.
No, it's the Celtic Colleges up in Goderich, and it's been going for 26 years, I guess. I've been going for about 18. And you take 4 days of classes from 9 o'clock in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon. And you can choose from many different things: singing in harmony, singing in Gaelic, Scottish songs, Irish songs. You can do fiddle classes, bodhrán classes, piano classes, dance classes. You know, there are some craft things that you can do as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. And then the 3 days on the weekend, they have a festival in the park.
Right.
People come from all over for it.
How long have you been going?
Like 18 years. 18
years? So basically just like a arts college, like for...
Yeah, it's just to kind of...
Or school.
Be with people who are like-minded as far as music is concerned, and
right.
And just learn some new stuff and have fun.
That's good. Do you remember your first show at the Aeolian?
My first show at the Aeolian.
Like even watching or volunteering? I asked Winnie this last time. I always find it interesting.
No, I don't. A long time ago.
Yeah?
Gee whiz. That's something. I have no clue.
That's all right.
I really can't think about what it would have been.
But even a favorite one? Maybe like ones in recent though, right?
Well, recently, Chantal Crowley has it, and Wayne made it.
That was amazing.
Amazing. It was such an emotional night because they were so honest about their situation, and it just kind of really struck me.
Yeah.
You know.
I love the dialogue that they had all throughout.
It was amazing.
It was really a perfect touch.
And that song, "I'm Gonna Break Your Heart," was like...
Yeah, I cried a couple times.
Yeah.
Any like favorite memories? I mean, I know I'm asking you to reach into your memory, but...
It was, like I said, Tom Cease was instrumental in bringing me here in the first place. And I met Tom and Anne about less than a year after I emigrated to Canada, and we've been friends ever since. So I have a lot of good memories about him and Anne, and you know, just I miss him.
Yeah.
And it's the memories that I have from here are mostly about people and volunteers in particular, and how everybody kind of pulls together, and it's like family. It's kind of like an extended family for me.
Exactly.
Not having any family here. So it's they're all very supportive and try to help each other through bad times, and I just love it here. That's all I can say.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I guess this is a bit of a right turn, but I've never asked you this. Because I always hear you listening to music in the office, and it can always be changing, but what's your favorite music to listen to?
Folk music is my heart,
forte,
my soul, because that's what I grew up with. I grew up with Robert Burns.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, folk music has always been a big part of my life. I was also a folk dancer. I did Morris dancing for many, many years.
Do you have videos?
I don't know about videos. I've got a lot of pictures, but I don't have videos per se.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are videos online somewhere. But yeah, it's, you know, music and dance has always been where my heart is, and it's always been mostly about traditional music, although I enjoy other kinds of music. I like classical music, I like jazz, I sing in my choir at church, so I like chorale music. So Yeah.
Great. Well, that's it for my questions. I'm sure I would have more to talk about because I could talk to you for hours, but I guess I've got to cut it short, and you do have to go because your box office shift is done. But I want to thank you for being on here. I know it's probably weird to be interviewed, but I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. Wanted to once again thank everybody for selling out 2 of our 4 Save Our Stage concert series shows this week. Clark Bryan on August the 7th is already sold out, and so is Sarah Smith on the 14th. We still have tickets available for the concert with Serena Haggerty on August 28th, as well as the one that sees Brian Gloyd and Sonia Gustafson perform together on August 21st. You can buy tickets at aeolianhall.ca/events or at our box office at 795 Dundas Street or 509-672-7950. Thank you again.